So James, if these amendments are allowed to happen, and I'm praying they won't be, isn't it true that this pushes our world toward a centralized governance model of worldwide health surveillance, reporting, and management, where the people have no say?
It certainly pushes in that direction. I'm not a fearmonger. I'm not trying to make people scared. I'm trying to make people wake up. Okay. And so these amendments are horrible. Okay. But they're a tiny little nugget compared to, the stuff that they would like to have. And so if you can imagine a domino falling and then 10 fall and then 100, we want to stop the first one from falling. That seems to make a lot more sense to me than trying to battle all of this craziness. But here's the scary part, and I don't mean to be a fearmonger, it's just the reality. The main thing that these amendments are doing is taking away the control of the declaration of an emergency, okay? What has happened is the thing I mentioned earlier, 6 years ago, they already in advance of that changed the language in the United States regulations so that when they get the power to make the PHEIC, the Public Health Emergency of International Concern, at their whim, it's already in the regulations in the United States that it cascades down. The dictator general, waves his magic wand, and then every nation on earth goes, oh, well, he said so, so we say so. And then it's on a national level. And so all the state governments go, well, the national said so, so we say so, right? And it boom, 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 all the way down to the county and local and into the schools and everything else. And it's all tied in with money. And so if anybody knows anything about the insanity that's going on in California with just the most absurd legislation being proposed, they're doing that just to get everybody's energy. They're vampires, and they go, oh, let's see what kind of absolutely insane thing we can propose. And everybody's like, oh my God, look at that. So you don't look at this. Okay. Now you have to fight those things because they're crazy. They're absolutely insane. But you're busy doing that. You don't pay attention to this. Okay. And I've learned that if everybody's talking about something in the news, I go, all right, that may very well be real. That may very well be important. But if everybody's talking about it, something else is going on. Okay. I'm not saying that's not real. I'm not saying, anything, the celebrity distractions, those are all ridiculous.
Right.
But I had a friend, I got to give another shout out to Karen, a friend of ours who called us up in the middle of all of this crazy Will Smith slapping Chris Rock thing. And we were talking about the fact that, oh, everybody's talking about that. Even alternative media is talking about that. It obviously isn't about that. What the heck is going on? And she texted us as we were having that conversation. And she said, do you think that they're just doing that to hide something else? What do you think they're hiding? I was like, well, that's why you're our friend, because you can see through the crap.
Right.
And it's not to say that, real things in life aren't happening and you have to pay attention, but it also functions as a decoy and a distraction. And when I found out that they were trying to hide this and sneak this through, you go, hey, maybe I don't want to pay attention to this too.
Definitely. Such a good point. And what all the things they're talking about that comes up. And it's difficult to discern at times. So I'm going to hit you maybe with a little curveball.
All right.
I understand you've been called Mr. Analogy. And
Marissa, I got to tell you, she understands that I've been called Mr. Analogy. I've also been referred to as an analytical beast, and I'll accept either of those monikers.
Oh, they're both very flattering, I think.
Yep.
So can you hit us with your best analogy for this situation?
I used to manage a couple of mom and pop nutrition stores, and I was the buyer, so I got to see a lot of products, and I learned a lot about nutrition and health, and that's what I've done for the past 25 years. we never really had any problem, but we were aware that if somebody was creating a ruckus in the back of the store, maybe they actually were having a problem in the back of the store, or maybe it was a diversion. Don't not pay attention. You know, you have to continue to pay attention to the front door because somebody might be walking out with some product. Okay?
Right.
Now, we never experienced that, but, you know, it was something that we had, you know, you see a news story and that kind of thing. And so that's the best analogy for this one. So many decoys, so many distractions, and quietly they want this thing to come in. Now, I got another one for you since you asked. You ever had a pet dog?
Of course, of course.
Okay. If you've ever had some food on the table or on the coffee table, and they get when you know they smell it and they're like, you know, looking at it. If you make eye contact with them, and they realize that that you understand what they were thinking about doing,
Especially a dog, right? Yeah.
oh, the cat doesn't care,
Yeah.
right? but the dog will just look so guilty, right? And so if you use the analogy of catching somebody with their hand in the cookie jar, right? If every nation has a cookie jar and all of their cookies are their freedoms and their rights, right? They're trying to grab into everybody's cookie jar, but the international health regulations right now say no, we're not going to give you our cookie, right? We got to agree to give you a cookie, okay? What they're trying to do is have everybody show up in Geneva and bring their cookie jars and just hand over the whole cookie jar. Maybe not the whole cookie jar, but certainly some of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't catch them with their hand in the cookie jar. We've got a week and a half notice that they're going to try to put their hand in the cookie jar.
Mm-hmm.
And when have you ever heard that there's a week and a half notice of treason that's about to be committed, or certainly deception at the very least? Okay. And so
Can't think of one.
You know, you can't have our freedom. You know, it's a sweet treat that we want to hold on to. If it was even remotely possible, you know, I would say to the delegates, you got to leave the cookie jar at home. You're not authorized to go give that freedom to the WHO because it's not yours to give.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's a great one. I like that. Now you're really making me want to have a dog. Thank you very much.
Making me want to enjoy a cookie. But anyways,
there you go. There you go.
But you know, hold on to your freedoms because you know why would any delegate who is aware, okay, hand over the control of the declaration of an emergency so that their country no longer had that control? It was given over to this dictatorial, you know, corrupt corporation.
Right. Well,
only because they don't know.
Right. Absolutely. And there's that operative word of aware, you know, if only they are aware. And that's kind of their job to be aware. So maybe we need to hold their feet to the fire a little bit more. So, you know,
we got to find out who the heck they are.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
There you go. Yeah. So
and that alone should get everybody riled up. It's like, well, who are they? You know, I'll greet them with love and kindness and forgiveness if they look at it and they go, oh, well, I'm going to have to vote no for that.
Right.
Then they'll come back as heroes.
Well, how about the head of the Health and Human Services, Becerra? Do you think he might be one, or
likely he's going to be the chief delegate? So he would be, you know, he went in November,
right?
And so that is a very good guess, but
I mean,
there is no official word.
Right. I'm just wondering how well he's going to do, because I understand like our representative Lauren Boebert put his really gave it to him and said that, you know, because she tried to get him to say that men can have babies, you know. So what's the definition of a man? Because he was talking about birthing people. And so anyway, I don't know if he doesn't.
I'll go down that rabbit hole with you. You didn't ask. I'll ask the question that you didn't ask.
Okay.
That all started with the Supreme Court nominees hearings
Right.
right.
Yep.
I wish I could have been the advisor that whispered the answer into her ear, because when the question was, how do you, I'll paraphrase, what is your definition of a woman? What in my opinion, she should have said was,
I'm not a biologist. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, Senator, if I were to be approved and become a member of the Supreme Court, that job would mean that when a case comes before the court, I look to the law and I interpret the law in regards to how it applies to the case. But I don't see where the Senate has actually passed a bill that defines the word woman. So I would be at a loss because you all haven't done your job. You haven't defined a woman in terms of the law. Okay. Now, the reason why they haven't done that is because everybody knows what a woman is, at least, up until now. All right, words change, the definition of things change, and culturally, society, we can have a discussion about what we want that to be. I've learned, number one, stop using pronouns completely because it just adds to confusion. Use the person's name.
What can we do starting today to officially sound the alarm?
I don't know if you did that by accident or if you've done your homework, but if you go to stopthewho.com, the first image on there is literally sound the alarm. And you're not supposed to scream fire in a crowded theater if there is no fire. But you're kind of sort of obligated to scream fire in a crowded theater when there is a fire. And I think this is a 5-alarm fire. You better start screaming or you're going to be muzzled for the rest of your life. And so on simplistic, concrete terms, okay, go to stopthewho.com. Make sure you type in http://stopthewho.com, because if you just do a search for it, God knows what they'll bring back, right?
I'll have the link below. That should be there. Yeah.
And so there's literally a picture of a toolbox, and below the toolbox is a bullet point list of things that you can do. And at this point, I think there's 36 videos that you could share. There's a bunch of articles that you can share. And those articles are specifically chosen because they don't confuse the issue by talking about the pandemic treaty. That's a whole nother thing. So, you could very easily, when this video is, you can get a link to it, just take that video. If this is what you saw that answered all your questions, take that link, sit down in your comfy chair, get yourself some snacks or whatever, and just start at the top of your phone list and text, Abby and Ann and Alice and Bobby and Chris, and just when you hit Zbigniew and Zohar or whatever, okay, great. Because if you don't tell somebody about this, then it's your fault. If you tell them and they ignore you, it's their fault, okay? And so keeping it a secret literally is a crime on a certain level. But just for the bragging rights of being able to say, well, I told you, I don't know why you didn't listen to me, but I told you this was happening. You don't want somebody to come back and say, oh, I've had things come back all around full circle for me. I wrote a script of a phone call or an email that you could send to Congress. And I did that just a few days ago. And I had somebody that I know send me, they go, Jim, you got to look at this, right? And they sent me, somebody had taken the script and they put it into a PDF and they reformatted it a little bit. But the thing that I put out came back to me, okay? And so the last thing anybody wants is for one of their friends to tell them before you tell them. You want the bragging rights of, hey, I told you before you knew about it.
Yeah.
If you wait, that took 2 days and I put it out. Somebody saw it. I don't know how many people it went through, and it came back to me. And I'm like, well, that's awesome. I put it out and apparently they liked it enough to reform, put it in a PDF.
Did they realize it originated with you, or did they thought you?
The person who gave it back to me thought he was giving me something that I needed to see, and
That's
I'm like,
good.
that's absolutely awesome. I don't know how, maybe it just went around the corner and came back, but I don't know who got it first, but we don't live next to each other. It's not like the neighbor told the next neighbor, and that's gratifying. That okay, well, people liked it enough to share it, and who knows how many levels it went through to come back around to me, and that's the beauty of it. It's like. I've had some people who called me out of the blue and they go, man, I saw that you did this. And it's like, I didn't tell them, they found it. And that's wonderful. I mean, they knew I was doing it all, but be the one who is the teller, not the tellee, if I can make up that word.
Yes.
Be the first, tell everybody in your phone list. Okay. And text them, and then go to your email list and email everybody. Go to your social media and private message everybody. Now, this is time consuming. I get it. But if you just post it on social media, they're not going to see it. It's going to get shadow banned and you're going to get blocked and your account's going to get busted. Don't do that. That's useless. Sure, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. If you know people who know people, right? I mean, look at all the celebrities that have 10 million Instagram followers. If you know an influencer, influence them. Okay. Tweet it at, or share it on Instagram, Facebook, all the other ones. What if you tell somebody who tells somebody who tells some celebrity who puts this on their Instagram, and boom, all of a sudden, half the world knows. If you don't tell that first person, you've actually prevented maybe potentially millions of people from learning about this by your inaction. So not to shame anybody, because life, you're busy, time is precious. I get it. But just sit down in your chair, snack on something. You can do it while you're watching something else. Then after you've texted them, emailed them, instant messaged them, done whatever, then call them up and go, have you seen what I texted you? Did you see what are you okay? I thought you would have called me back by now. Go check it out. See you later. Bye. Okay. And then don't try to argue or convince anybody, right? If people call you up and they go, what in the heck is this? This is crazy. I've got questions. Then give them my phone number. I'll help you answer the questions. It's all on the website, but I know it's confusing. 310-619-3055. If my phone blows up and I got to talk to everybody, that's wonderful. I get to meet a lot of wonderful people.
Bless your heart for doing this, James. You are just, wow. I mean, because I'm also a researcher. I call myself a truth seeker and a truth speaker, and, sharing the truth as close as I can identify it. And I also welcome if I say something that seems off to you, or you've got some other information, let me know so I can have an opportunity to explain it or correct it. But same goes for all of my video presentations here. So, that now that we're kind of wrapping things up, do you have any final things you'd like to share or to go over?
We've gone through all your questions.
We have wonderful. Actually, you answered a few, so I didn't ask a few, but
wonderful.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to keep going, so I wasn't prepared to close it up.
Well,
enjoying the conversation.
Okay. Keep going. I can
questions
this together.
No, the fact that you had questions means that you actually looked at the information. Okay, and so. A lot of times people won't look at information. And I mean, I've had, I don't believe it. It's like, well, did you look at it? Because the beauty with this is I'm not making up a story. I have evidence. Now, if you look at the evidence and you have a different interpretation, a different opinion, totally fair. I'd love to hear it. If you think I'm wrong about something, and I've been corrected about, a couple little details here, that there was confusion early on because a lot of people were saying that it was a 2/3 vote, and the regulations are really, all it says is if it's approved. It doesn't say it has to be 2/3. It doesn't say that approved is a majority plus one, half. So it's still kind of sketchy reading the letter of the regulations. It just merely says if these are approved. And so it doesn't detail, do they have like electronic voting and they're going to give a count? Or it's like, the game that they play, all in favor, say aye, boom, the ayes have it. And all the nays are like, well, wait a minute, what about us? So, I don't think too many people were going to be busy live streaming, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 8-hour long sessions or however long they're going to be. But I'm going to be curious what's going on in Geneva. And hopefully there's going to be a lot of people surrounding the Palace of Nations in Geneva, peacefully, just expressing their opinion. There's an organization called Worldwide Demonstrations. And for some reason, they chose that weekend to do their next worldwide demonstration. And so that's on one of my articles. I think I've got 13 articles so far about this topic, and there will be more to come. JamesRoguski.substack.com, JamesRoguski.substack.com. It's a free, you can subscribe or put your email in, or you can just click the button that says, let me read it. There's a wealth of information. There'll be a whole lot more coming. Don't get lost down too many rabbit holes, paralysis by analysis. Invite everybody to learn side by side with you, okay? Get enough so that you're happy that it's worthy of being shared, but don't wait until it's all over and you go, okay, yeah, now I know enough. Oh, wait, shit, I missed it. Spread the word as soon as possible. And don't try to convince people. If they want to take another blue pill and go back into the matrix and not see what's going on, that's fine. Work with the people who are willing. And if somebody has questions, that means they want to take part. If they're just, it's bullshit, I don't want to think about it, they're just a vampire that's going to suck your energy away. So let them live their life the way they want to, and work with the people that are wanting to do something. Quite frankly, if you're doing it to where it's fun and exciting, you're meeting people and you're taking action, it's actually a good experience. And if you're doing it right, it should be fun. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.
Excellent advice. I totally agree with you. And when folks thank me for what I'm doing, especially for global problems causing harm, especially to children, I said, well, I appreciate that, but there's simply no way I could not do this. I'm compelled to do this work because I care. And to not do anything, like you say, we were talking before, once you know something, if you don't say something, that I couldn't sleep well at night, and I sleep very well at night. So, yeah. Yeah.
Better to be tired that you've given your all than to be wondering, oh, should I do something? It's, ask forgiveness, not permission. If you have an idea, just go do it. Right.
Right.
If it doesn't work, then learn from the fact that it didn't work and go do something different. But sitting on your butt, waiting for somebody to save you. There ain't nobody coming to save you, save yourself. And if we all come together collectively, we can all save everybody else collectively. But it's not like, some politician is going to wave their magic wand and change what's confused in everybody's mind. If you know somebody who knows somebody, they open up the door, you walk right in. Well, I don't know somebody who knows somebody who knows those people. Or if I do, they're not talking, right? And so, if you know Joe Rogan, tell him to look at I don't need to be on, it's the information. Let him have a panel of Congress people talk about this, right? It's the information, it's the message, not the messenger. Spread the word. And I think this can go around the world in 10 days and circle it a few times. We may or may not raise awareness enough to make it not be approved at the assembly, but we've still got 6 months and that whole election time period where I'm not stopping. I mean, I'm going to take a break and I got to go back to living my life. But at some point, once you light the fuse, you can't stop it. And right now the genie's out of the bottle.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I, anything we set our intentions to and attention to, it expands. And, it's like the shot heard round the world. And I really do believe that. And, the more
So that intention, to put that intention out there,
yes.
I absolutely mean no one any harm whatsoever, just putting the love out there. And to anyone who is a delegate from any of the 194 countries, think before you vote, read the amendments before you vote, and ask yourself, what are the people in your nation going to think about you if you vote yes to give away your nation's control over their own destiny? And what are the people in your nation going to think about you if, in my opinion, you're a hero and you vote no and you go back home? You think anybody's going to be mad about that? I think it's the other way around. So don't be unaware and don't be ignorant of the ramifications. Be a hero. Say no. Vote no on the amendments. If you're a delegate from any of the 194 countries, my phone number is 310-619-3055. I may not speak your language. And if I don't, we'll figure something out. But give me a call and I'll tell you my opinion of it, and you can make your own decisions. Free world, I hope. And so if you have translation skills, please copy everything that you see that I have on my Substack. If only to save it so that if it disappears for some reason, because that stuff happens.
Good point.
But take it upon yourself. Nobody needs permission. Just take whatever information is there, translate it, put it on a video, copy the videos, put them on your channel. I'm not trying to control this. I'm trying to explode this. So do with it as you wish. You certainly don't need to ask my permission to do what you want to do. That's the whole point.
Yeah. Thank you, James. You are such a hero and an earth angel. And I'm so grateful for you on behalf of everyone who hopefully will open their heart and their head and their soul and spirit to consider all of this important information, because we won't know what's gone until it's gone. And if we don't wake up and realize what is nipping away at it, then shame on us, right?
And I'm optimistic, because what I've seen so far with people is, because they haven't propagandized very specifically these amendments, they were trying to hide them. People don't have a veil of preconceived opinions about it. They are getting it confused with the pandemic treaty and the WHO Constitution. So there is that confusion. But once you just say, look, no, it's not the treaty. It's not the Constitution of the WHO. It's amendments to the International Health Regulations. There's a document that are the existing, and there's a document that are the amendments. If you look at the highlight of what this is, people get it, because it isn't clouded by $1 billion propaganda program. And many people, when it triggers, like you, it's like, oh, I apologize if I caused anybody to lose any sleep about this, but I'm not the one who started it. I'm just the one shining the light on it. If you want to go back to sleep, go find a blue pill and take your blue pill. That's totally fine. Life may be, harder, and you've got responsibilities and you just don't have the time. That's totally okay. Everybody understands that. Take care of your family, take care of yourself, take care of your community. But, could you really let this pass by and go through and then look at yourself and say, oh, I should have spoke up. I should have done something. It's a lot easier to say, I tried my best and I wasn't able to make a change, as opposed to, oh man, I didn't even try. I couldn't live with myself that way. And that's just me. I'm not projecting on anybody else. Do whatever you think is best to do. And it might be you tell one person and they tell somebody who knows somebody. But if you didn't tell that one person, you're actually blocking that free flow of information. Not telling somebody about this is a form of censorship.